Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another installment of the Quickview series. This one is another installment of the Quickview series, and is simultaneously another step potentially further into the mouth of madness. Because today we are testing. Let me see if I can do this. We're testing a Krawler T It even says PL10242 over there. Only down here it says RC YiFans, and then the eagle-eyed of you will know that's a ProLine Aztek. Woo! We've got something from somewhere. Smells like stinky rubber. It is the RC YiFans. YiFans Krawler T PL10242, though for fun, 10242 is not the ProLine stock number of the Krawler TA, but it is the stock number of the Class 1 Krawler TA. No mention of the ProLine Aztek anywhere, but apparently, somewhere, they're just mixing and matching molds and slapping stuff together. And that's how we get the RC YiFans Krawler TA. So there's print on the sidewall. And it is so small that I tried to read one with a magnifying glass. That doesn't work. It's basically too small for even that. You need to get it in a very bright light. And you need to take a photograph of it, and then you can zoom way in on it, and you can try to read it. And here's some high tech for you. And it's just gibberish. It's just letters. That down at the end that might say car, trigger finger, climbing, and then Dodgerison. Yeah, that's fair. That's fairly typical. Someone went through the work of doing that, having no idea what it says. This is what we generally just refer to as a non-Injora. We are honeycombed, and nothing, no belting, but we are honeycombed. Curiosity strikes me. Yeah, similar. Very fine on there, much beefier on the honeycomb there. There is no similarity in feel between the real one and the not real one. They got the lug pretty good. Give them like a 6 out of 10 on the luggery. They of course fit these perfectly, and we're gonna see if we can get a little bit of flywheel effect out of them. Does that puff it out? No, they're still a little more narrow. This is like, what are our expectations? You know, we have meted them appropriately. I will tell you this. I pre-mount 3, and then I camera mount the 4th, and I'll tell you something. This RC YiFans, with that insert, one of the easiest to mount tires I've ever encountered. I could, with minimal finger pressure, press both beadlock, press both barrels, just press them together, fully closed. So it's got a good shape on the inner bead, and it's another one of those things that makes it a crying. No one knows what I know about the crying shame that is a tire that they got the carcass like right. Like that's a good beadlock ring. They just mount right in. It's got a good rim protector on it. Sets down real flat. It's nice. We all but know that the compound is going to be god-awful. Oh? Well, Okay. We don't have the automatic failure of something that's really Starskying and chirping and chirping. Baseline had a spa day not that long ago, and then a working man goes right back to work. RC YiFans Krawler TAKX, but not actually Azteks. To my knowledge, to what I have seen, this is the first time I've seen a fake Aztek. We see a lot of clones of a lot of things. It's definitely not the first clone we've seen of a ProLine tire. I mean, we even saw KO3s, which I don't think is a thing. They had the same gibberish on the sidewall. They cloned the KO2, but decided 3 is better than 2. It is 1 bigger. So the RC YiFans Krawler TA, which isn't, it's an Aztek. So we're just going to call them YiFans. We'll call them what we call them. My expectations are near basement level. And my bigger fear than that is that they won't be abjectly terrible. They'll just be bad. They will fall into that mushy mess of tires that are somewhere between a 92 and an 80. Meaning, if you've got a kid or you just don't care that much, you put them on a vehicle that you drive around on trails and they'll probably be absolutely acceptable. You can drive virtually anything on a trail. Pick the tire that you like the looks of and fits your vehicle. ProLine Trepidor G8 is an awful rock crawling tire. I wouldn't put anything else on an FMS FJ40. So, the YiFans Krawler Azteks, they have no hurdles to clear. They have no expectations to meet. They are round. They look like tires. They mount phenomenally well. If we granted bonus points for things, I would grant a bonus point for that. 10 stations of the Crawler Canyon Class 2 Tire Test Protocol. I did it. At least one person was yelling at the screen. It wasn't me. I was like, I feel like we missed something. Because as soon as I said Class 2, it triggered in my mind. 117, which is, call it a 4.55. They are not very tall. I do like a 4.5. By 47. 117.47. So they're a little short on our straight axle test, gentlemen. That is not going to be overwhelmingly helpful. But also, I mean, I don't think this is required for me to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. I've never been over the moon for the Aztek. Like, I feel like it's a little bit too Trepidor. And the Trepidor, as was mentioned a moment ago, not a remarkable rock crawling tire, but you can see, right? There's a little bit of a familial resemblance. There's that same split chevron with the multi-stage block, and I don't know, there's a lot of tires that if you squint hard enough and look at them long enough, they all kind of start to look like Trepidors, or Trepidors start to look like everything else. But anyway, the real Aztek is... Oh, he lost his last trip out, he lost a windshield wiper. The genuine Aztek in G8 is fair to Midland, as one would say. I have no expectations of even fair to Midland for these particular gents. And welcome out onto the course where we've found ourselves right underneath 65, 1985. 85% humidity, which actually feels pretty solid when it's 65 degrees. This marine layer is not going to hold, but we'll appreciate it while it's here. I think that moving forward, we'll refer to the RC YiFans as just fake Azteks, because from 6 foot away, they're just Azteks. You can't see any of the text, so they just look like Azteks. Oh, there was an initial moment of something approximating hope. Like, seriously. Baseline and I, we ask collaboratively. We ask as a duo, when does it stop? They got a little bit of a shoulder thing going on where right when that shoulder leg starts to grip, it gives you this hope that you might have something. There we go. It was not elegant. As I had mentioned, I've never regarded the Aztek to be like top tier. Come on. Come on. There you go. Hey. Here you go, guy. There's something absolutely terrible happening right now, which is if you are stuck in this chronologically, as myself and my testing assistant are, everything, regardless of how it is consumed, this content is prepared, is recorded, is produced sequentially. It's done in an order. That order is largely oh no, the self-write is terrible. That order is largely arbitrary. It's when we get the stuff in hand, when does the schedule allow it? During this current temporality, where things are recorded in order, it has been catastrophe after disaster after catastrophe, just over and over and over again. And why that's worthy of mention right now is this, which is not good. I mean, but we can get the, hey! This is one of the better things that we've tested in the last, weeks. Like 6, 7, 8 quick views in a row. Just terrible. I'm going to give the fake Azteks an 8.5. They very nearly show promise. Almost. There's a little bit of an advantage. Fake Aztek. This is my kind of morning. I'm an overcast man. I love an overcast. If it could be 65 all the time, I would probably take it. And then here's what I want you to do. I want you first to listen to this cacophony of this tire trying to make this ascent, because we're gonna see. We're gonna see what we've got. Get it, fool, get it. There it is. Here's what I want you to listen to. It's the distant sounds of heavy machinery clanking. But other than that, where are the birds? Where's the everything? There's a loud truck far in the distance, rumbling, but low and quiet, far. Nobody's rototilling. The squirrels aren't chirping away. As, I don't know if I'd go so far as to say bona fide, but as city folk, it's almost rare. There's no distant screaming of children. It's just us, a little bit of birds, and a modestly terrible amount of lug noise. I had a hope. As the Crystal Method famously said, there is hope. And I had a little bit, because it looked like we almost had some gription and some graption. And generally, tires will underperform in slick rock compared to other obstacles. Nah, we're doing it again. We're doing it again. We're deep, deep in the weeds. We can barely see light. We're so deep in the weeds. And I think what's gonna, yeah, hop it, pop it, bing, bang, bing, bang. I think what's gonna happen is we're gonna end up with another monospec. Get off of me, ant, get. Moving forward, the fake Aztek is an unfortunate 8.5, right up until it isn't. So 8.5 at Slick Rock, 8.5 at Daphne's. Maybe we can break out of that at the side hill? To be completely honest though, I'd almost be happy with just a continuation of 8.5s across the board. We'll ignore the fact that it's silicone fit. Got a little flywheel effect, cycloned us out of it. We'll just ignore the fact that it's silicone fitted 8.5s. Yeah. Whatever it is, I mean, with very few exceptions, everything is a compound, right? It's more than one thing. Oh, it's so bad. It's unbelievably bad. All right, and now watch, we're just gonna walk, right? Just gonna walk? Yeah. Because the walk is not grip. It's lack thereof. We're creating just enough, I want a better word for grip, adhesion? We're creating just enough adhesion to not fall off. There's virtually no chance right here of generating enough traction to roll over backwards. It just, like, it's getting worse. The hope is dissolving. On the side hill, I'm gonna give it a 7 because we were at 16, 17. So that's 24. Now we got to go numerically because we're off the list. So we have a 1.5 point differential. I think this tire has a very slim chance of getting maybe a 9 somewhere and has an equal chance of getting a 5 somewhere. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna generate a little bit of a subsection, and that subsection will allow my mind to try to run through the database of what I will now call the 4-point tire. Because if you have a tire with a 4-point scoring differential, it is truly remarkable that someone could successfully manufacture something that kind of almost works, but is also utterly terrible. We have tested tires in the past where the gap between best skill and worst skill is 0 points. There have been a number of tires that have rolled, I guess, something approximating a perfect game. Like done a 9.7 straight across, a 9.8 straight across, no deductions. More oft, we see, if we're talking about a good tire, not outstanding, so not a top 10, but a solid contender, we're typically looking at a plus or minus 0.2. You know, like it'll do at worst a 9.4 and at best a 9.8, right? So you're in that around 9.6 range. It just, hearkening back to everything being a compound, I don't, like, would I single this tire out as intentional? Did they make it out of this rubber on purpose? Or was it just fill it full of rubber and to turn the mold on? They went through the work to put all the gibberish on the sidewall. The self-writing is horrible. It might be one of the worst self-writes we've ever seen. I feel like any score I give it over here is generous, because it genuinely feels like with each successive obstacle, it gets worse. So we're here at a ton of 24. I'm gonna give it another 7, easy math, to take us to 31. Oh, how quickly my dreams of an 85. How great would it have been to just take home an 85? Okay. It's looking more like 8.5 than 7 over here. Okay. Bringing it back. As soon as I saw something good, it stopped. Okay. It's a tiny little lizard right there, a little tiny fella. Okay. I don't know what aspect it is specifically, but there's a real lack of precision. They're very imprecise. And this is the first obstacle where it's tasked with doing something precise. You have to make pretty small movements to get through where we need to get through, and it's not really very good at it. Are we going to fall away? No, the silicones are doing a lot of work right here. Yeah, that was okay. You know, it's fine. Back to an 8.5. So now I have to remember 39.5. So halfway through, we're at 39.5, which is 79. It'd be great if these could just hit like 80, just be above 80. And again, I reiterate, if we're hoping for 80, I mean, how far have we strayed from the path? I'm not saying we've given up. I'm saying that expectations are fluid. Well, that's a 7.5 if ever I've seen one. It's not going to be able to swing soft side. There's not. That's a perfect summary of the fake Aztek. It's a little early for a summary, but that's a perfect one. That was the self-righting equivalent of drowning in 4 inches of water. That little initial lip you have to breach over is half the height of a tire. Couldn't get off of it. No. 6.5. So we're at 46. One might ask, what's he doing with the bump? I'm seeing where it goes. Where does it go? We have full chevron on this tire. The lugs are oriented such that they are pointing in a little chevron pattern, which generally, that chevron will generally pull you straighter in a bump. Not so here. It's really bad. There's the imprecision becomes even more notable at higher levels of throttle. I can't predict where it's going to land. And when you do bump onto the surface, keeping the ground that you've gained is as difficult as getting up there. We're at 46. That's like a... Honestly, in a bump, that's like a 6. So a 52. We're right in the crap again. We're right in the crap. It's the slowest. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. Even with the flywheel effect. I had some shoulder catches earlier where I thought, oh, you know what? We might be able to do something out of this. In terms of a tire fitted with a silicone insert and benefiting from that flywheel effect, this is some of the worst self-righting I've ever seen. We're going to go for a catch right here. Oh my God. It would be generous to give it a 7.5, but we have not tried the whip. Okay. I'll say on record. Yeah. Yeah, that amount of chevron. They don't like a self-right reverse. Yeah. I'm actually going to bump it up a little bit. The self-right in reverse is terrible. Realistically, like a 7. That's a solid. That's a 9+ on the whip. So I give it an 8. I gave it an 8 because we were at what, 52? Nice even 60 with 2 to go. Now we're hoping to just stay modestly above 70. We had it. We had it so close. It was within our grasp. Had it just been able to muster anything in the reverse self-right maneuver, we could have gotten a 9 on it. As it stands now, we have a 2.5 point differential. Lowest of a 6, highest of an 8.5. And we've only gotten an 8.5 a couple times. Oh. They do not improve on surfaces that are not rock. The precision the lack thereof, it continues. And if anything is amplified, we have that similar lug height all the way across. We have perhaps too much lug. Spirit of the forest. We have perhaps not enough void, too much lug. It's probably not going to clear mud remarkably well. What are you doing? What are you doing for a spirit? Instead of just, oh. Where you going, buddy? I thought that's like the closest spirit of the forest has ever come to me. So they can't climb rocks. They can't really do this either. I would say the ability to do this, again, another instance where a 7.5 would be generous. It can do it, right? Not repeatably. It's kind of in the wheelhouse of a 7.5. 67.5 going to wet, which means this tire will have really, like, came out with hope on it. Came out kind of strong and really, really fallen, because we are potentially looking at, is this bottom 10? I couldn't even muster the strength to do the up down. No, my mind is not going to improve on the score. I'll tell you, they don't get worse. They start off pretty bad, and therefore they don't get worse. It's an exceptionally low bar, you know. One more pass at the easiest approach. I will give them the default standard 1 point wet reduction, down from an 8.5 to a 7.5, meaning that the RC YiFan, not a crawler fake Aztek, ends on a 75.0. And if I got a number wrong somewhere here or there, I don't even apologize. Which gives it new sole proprietorship over 75th place out of 140-ish tires above that mark, you know, with ties and all. Right between the 1.9 fake Hyrax and the 2.2 fake Baja Claw. So right there in the midst of the fake tires, we've never had anyone score a 75 even before. The fake Hyrax is a 76.3, and the latter, the fake Baja Claw in the 2.2 variety, was a 74.0. So they have sole ownership of 75 points, which I think is hilarious. That just in the randomness of the universe, for right now, until the board is updated and the other tires are added, 75 points is 75th place. At least for today. As of this recording, a 75.0 is sole ownership of 75th place. It's another tire that there is no reason. There is no reason for it to exist. The Aztek in and of itself is not a stellar performer. It's a tire that I don't think anyone asked for. It doesn't do anything that, like, I would take most any ProLine tire over the Aztek. And a fake one, I'm doing this. I'm just going, I'm just throwing my hands in the air. I have no idea. I don't know who this tire is for. I don't know what it's for. It's much like all of the clones of the Hyrax. The Hyrax in and of itself, the Hyrax is potentially the worst ProLine tire in terms of overall performance, and yet it is the most cloned one. Perhaps they don't defend their intellectual property when it comes to that tire. There's no external licensing on it, which is why we might have a future with more fake Azteks in it. And like every time we test one of these, the bell curve looks worse. The bell curve is starting to just look like a needle at this point, because we have one tire that's good, 2, 3 tires that are modestly good, and then everything else is terrible. But curse you, Mix Racing, for making the fake Tusk and having it be decent, like a 94, 95 tire for $20 a set, because because we're idiots, because we're human and we're dumb. There's that tiller. It was nice. It was nice. It lasted. While it lasted, it was nice. Will we ever see the light at the tunnel, or are we just going to stumble into blackness forever? New tires come out from major manufacturers and are, you cannot have, if everything is awesome, then nothing is awesome. And when it comes to testing tires, everything is not awesome. Like, an LP Megalithic earns its score because there are so many tires that are so bad at being tires that they make tires that are actually good at their jobs extra remarkable. The cutting double-edged sword of that is that the manufacturers know this, and the ones that make actually good tires keep raising the prices of them, which is why we end up where we are now on the bucket chair, trying to find an affordable tire that does decently, and your options, while the number of tires you can buy is ever growing, the number of tires you actually should buy continues to decrease. So, I'm going to leave you on the down as we leave you here today. Thank you so much for watching us. We look forward to seeing you in the next one. And in between now and when we meet again, please, one and all, do your very best. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you again here from the Canyon. Baseline and I, hoping equally. Please, universe, give us a tire that at least just isn't terrible. I feel like a tire scoring above 95 is a rumor, is a whisper that I heard on the internet of half-truths, because I can't remember the last time it happened.